Hello everybody, Sefik here, Sefik Empowerment Coaching. I hope your day is going well. It's Thursday lunchtime here in the UK. A bit dark, a bit gloomy, but we're ramping out towards Christmas, so I hope you're getting in that Christmas feel. Whatever place you might find yourself in, there are good things around the corner, so just keep being positive. And as I always say, you've got to believe to succeed, and certainly there is no shame. So if you're hearing me for the first time, my name is Sefik. I'm a coach, an author and a speaker. I'm an author of this book here, There's No Shame. You know where to grab your copies from www.shefikempowermentcoaching.co.uk, or just look at all my social media handles, as they say, and you can find yourself a copy, or just, dare I say, even put my name into Google and the book will come up straight away. But crucially, today's blog is about something that's very, very personal to me. And for those of you that don't know, I am also the survivor of 2 suicide attempts. So I come from this with a great deal of experience, but most importantly, make it relatable. Okay, I'm not ashamed of what's happened in my life. It's happened, it's out there, and I try and break down those stigmas and taboos about everything associated with poor mental health. So one thing that I was guilty of, but in 2 ways of looking at it, I was guilty in a good way and guilty in a bad way, was my persistence and my perseverance to put up with things that really served me no favours. Obviously, if you get that point in your life where you want to end your life in 2006 and 2016, I clearly was putting up with something that was doing me no favours. So all our results are shown, or what we see as our results, are pretty much a result of our persistence and our perseverance in the situation that we find ourselves in. Okay, so my poor mental health between 2006 and 2016 were pretty much or largely based to where I found myself professionally and emotionally. But I was so afraid to walk away in 2006 after my first attempt, because I'd invested this time and this energy and this commitment into my career and what I thought was a career for life, that I couldn't see myself doing it. So I carried on for another 10 years, getting more and more unhappy, putting my hand up higher and just being defecated on from a higher level. Each time you get almost complacent. There's a degree of, it is what it is. And then lo and behold, in 2016, I snapped again and I did what I did for the second time. So that was where my persistence was in a detrimental way to myself. But as I often say, and my turnaround was about being persistent in my thoughts. And the more time you invest in yourself into something, then the harder it is to walk away. And a lot of guys and a lot of girls, young and old, rich and poor, will find themselves unable to walk away from a relationship, from a career, from a habit. Drink, alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be, because you've done it for so long, because on your subconscious level, that's all you know. That's all you associate yourself with. I associated myself with working 85-hour weeks, not seeing my family, not seeing my friends, being irritable on the weekend, being burnt out on the weekend. But just as my turnaround didn't occur overnight. I spent 18 months getting myself better. I was consistent and persistent in how I saw myself. Going to the groups, going to the therapy, taking my prescription drugs, seeing the psychiatrist, going to the GP. What I wrote, what I read, the lack of caffeine, how I looked at myself, how I deemed myself. I was persistent every day in this vision that I've got to get better. And how and why do I know it worked, or it was going to work? Because I knew I'd put myself in that situation before over that 13-year career. I was persistent and I was consistent in turning up and being accounted. So I'd done it before. So wherever you find yourself in your life now, your results are very much largely based on what you've put up with. So if you're miserable, if you're unhappy, if you're depressed, if you're struggling, take a look around you. Take a look around who you surround yourself with. A lot of people will say, look at the first 5 people that come into your head and see how they're living their lives. And if they're living their lives in a certain way, then you'll find yourself, that might be the mirror of where you are. So if you're hanging around with losers or druggies or abusers or people who are exceptionally successful and wealthy, then for a large proportion of your life, you'll probably find yourself gravitate towards that part of your life in what you want to aspire to. For me personally, I surrounded myself with a lot of people who were just putting up with 85 hours a week and not a good work-life balance. And that's how I found myself being sucked into it even more. And I got out of it by being persistent and consistent in how I thought, how I saw myself, and where I saw myself going. It was a new Sefik. I shifted my way of thinking from the subconscious to now thinking consciously about everything that I was feeding myself spiritually, emotionally on social media, for it to be for the better and for the greater good of myself. And that's how you start to tip the scales. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. I'd often say that I wish I could snap my fingers and wave a magic wand, that this would all be over. It doesn't work like that. My success in myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, is based on being consistent and persistent every day. You've got to turn up and you've got to be accounted for. Even when life's throwing you those curveballs, you've got to keep saying, okay, this is here for a reason. This has tested me. Those 13 years, that career, those 2 suicide attempts gave me a backbone that I never thought I had. And I understood that if I can get through that tough time, then I can get through anything else. And that's how at times you have to tip the scales. But to say it one last time, because we've heard a lot of persistence and consistency in this blog, you have to be both of those in order to achieve where you want to go. So remember, if you've done it in the past, you can do it in the future. Use the past, if you've had a bad past, to motivate you and to drive you forward to where your future wants to go. Don't be held back by the past. Acknowledge the past. Acknowledge for what it is, but also acknowledge it that it's going to propel you to go forward and move away. Everything that happens in life you learn from. You don't fail, you learn. And if you want to hear more about me, if you want to hear more about my mental health condition, if you want to hear about workplace well-being, mental health in the workplace, seminars, speeches, coaching one-to-one, or how I beat my mental health condition, or how I can empower you, Sefik, empowermentcoaching.co.uk, you know where to come. Have a great day. Look at me at all my social media handles. Visit me at www.shefikempowermentcoaching.co.uk. Have the most amazing Thursday. Thanks for love and support. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and have a great day. Got to remember to believe to succeed, and crucially, there's no shame. Have a great day. Cheers. Bye.